Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Getting It Right. Can you believe it? 5 weeks in. Everybody can play along, including you at home. It's so easy to do. Just score yourself. Give yourself a point for everything you get right. Forget the things you get wrong. And let us know if you beat today's contestants. So shall we then meet our contestants? First of all, then, we have Jacob. Jacob, tell us all about you.
Well, I'm Jacob Oliver from Barnard Castle. I'm 17.
17?
Yeah.
Big strapping lad, isn't he? What do you do, Jacob? Are you working or are you still at school?
No, I'm still at school. Managed to get the day off this morning. Just playing rugby really as much as I can.
You're a rugby player?
I am indeed, yeah.
Okay. Are you playing for the school?
Yeah, playing for the school and playing at Newcastle as well at the moment.
For the Falcons?
Yeah.
Oh, he's terribly modest, isn't he? That is very that's quite a thing.
Yeah.
So you're on the apprentice scheme at the Falcons?
Yeah, just in the junior academy at the moment and hoping to get involved in the senior academy.
Wow. And do you want to make rugby a career?
Yeah, that's the plan, yeah.
Right. Take a look at this young fella. You'll recognise him in a couple of years' time, I reckon. You love your sport?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and star sign?
Pisces.
Pisces. Mm-hmm. Are you a typical Pisces?
I think so.
What is a typical Pisces?
We're
going to have to mug up on me because I don't know why I ask people what their star signs are.
No, I don't know why you do it.
No.
I know.
A bit fishy.
A bit fishy.
Yeah.
And talking about a bit fishy, this is Richard. Hello, Richard. Tell us all about you.
My name's Richard Fleming. I'm 60. Hard to believe, but I am.
No, sorry, Richard. It's for us to say it's hard to believe, not for you. Yeah. It's hard to believe, Richard.
It's very kind of you. Thank you.
It is. Yeah, he looks good, doesn't he?
Fabulous.
Yeah. Tell us about, what do you do?
I'm a semi-retired optician.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay. Semi-retired, so what do you do in the semi-retired time?
Like gardening most of the time when the weather permits, or looking around antique shops for items for my 400-year-old cottage as well. That is stuck to the rafters with things.
Is it?
My kids go mad when another thing turns up, and I think the cleaner goes mad because it's another thing for her to dust.
Right, so you're a big collector.
Well, not a big collector, but I just get things that I think will fit in the house and that I like.
Okay, and where would you say your strength lies?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Love it. You're on the right show. What about you, Jacob? What about your strengths? Do you collect anything?
I like to buy and sell a few watches when I can. So.
Oh, do you really? Now that is very interesting, and you'll see why in a moment. But before you do see why, let's introduce our resident antiques expert. He knows everything. What he doesn't know, he makes it up, and he's been getting away with it for years, haven't you, David?
I've made a career out of it.
Now, let's play round 1, and Jacob, you're going to find this very interesting indeed. Okay. Glamorous assistant, can we have object number 1, please? Here she is. And I think what I want you to do here is hand this to Richard.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you.
Richard, thank you very much. Take your time, Richard. What does the box tell you, first of all? Does it tell you anything at all? Look at the insignia there.
The insignia tells me nothing, I'm afraid.
Open the box then.
We have a watch.
Aha.
A Patek Philippe Geneva watch. Leather strap. Gold case. It's not actually working at the moment. Never mind.
And is it gold?
Put the box down. See if there's any indication on the back of it. It's stuck on, I'll have to undo the strap. This seems to be more your field, doesn't it?
Jacob's face is really lighting up here.
He can't wait.
He can't speak. Jacob, you can't say
I noticed
a word.
the box.
Yeah. Interesting movement on the back. You can see inside how the movement works. That's very interesting. Never seen that before. I would suspect it is a casing of some gold standard.
Let's see the face there, Richard. What do you know about Patek Philippe's, if anything?
I know nothing about it.
Is it something that you would have yourself?
I do like the odd watch. I have a collection of about 5 or 6 that I rotate when I can. It's a possibility. It could depend on the value of it, but I wouldn't be adverse to it. I don't have one that looks specifically like this at the moment, no.
Okay. What else can you tell us? Date-wise?
Date-wise, I would say 1970s possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a 1970s, are you saying it's gold?
The casing is gold, yes.
Is it gold, solid gold, or gold plated?
Gold plated.
Gold plated.
Yes.
Okay, 1970s Patek Philippe gold plated gents wristwatch. David, are you keeping notes here?
There's not a lot to keep.
Okay, fair enough. Pass it over now to Jacob. If we can move that box.
Well, it's definitely a Patek Philippe. It feels quite heavy. I think it's definitely gold. Whether it's plated or not, I don't know. Could be. Is it a Calatrava? I think that looks like a similar model.
Date-wise, Jacob?
I'd say maybe 80s. Might be 70s. Could be a bit old, but I don't know. These things look quite young, so I couldn't tell you really.
And what do you know about Patek Philippe?
Very good quality of watch brand. Hold their money quite well. Well, very well. Swiss.
Is it a sought-after brand?
Very sought after, yeah.
Is it the kind of thing that you would buy and sell? Because you do
It
a little
is.
bit of buying and selling.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so he'll be good with the valuation. He's going to be. He's going to win all the
interesting.
points on this. Every point available, Jacob's going to get it. That's for sure. Okay, so can you add to anything that Richard said?
Not particularly. I think it's leather strap. I think Richard's got it fairly bang on.
But do you agree that it's gold-plated or solid gold?
I don't know. It's quite heavy, so I might go solid gold.
You're going solid gold. Okay, David's writing something down. That's interesting, isn't it? Okay, so hold that thought. David Elstob, I want you please to issue some points. Who's done well?
Well, Richard did have 1 point, and then I knocked it off.
Tell us why.
That's a first.
He said it was gold, and then he said, actually, it's gold plated. So
I
took it
know.
off.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, slash that point. Okay,
Yeah.
so he
the
got
rest,
one.
the rest of it, you were only really saying it's Patek Philippe, which we know that it says that. So
Okay.
1 point.
Sure, I could read.
I thought you said you took a point off him.
Oh, sorry, no points.
0
No
points.
point.
Get with the programme, David Elstob. What show are you on? Okay, so Richard, 0 points. Now then, over to Jacob. How did he do?
2 points.
What? What for?
Because he said it was solid gold.
Oh, he did finally.
And then the date, he said kind of 80s. I think it's probably 90s, but it was kind of close enough.
Okay.
Closer than 70s.
Yeah.
It was closer than 70s, yeah. Are you two working in cahoots or something? are you and Newcastle's Falcon
I'm
fan?
hoping they'll come and buy it.
Only because these rugby players earn a fortune these days. Okay, right. Okay, so we've got Jacob on 2. That's very good. But he's bound to have won the points. He deals in watches. He's only 17, but he does. And poor Richard there on 0.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Richard. It's now the valuation round.
Right.
This is where you're going to get it all right. Okay, so Patek Philippe, take your cards. Put the box down, Richard, please. And write your valuation on the back of your card. Patek Philippe. Cracking maker. What's it worth?
As good as it gets.
There's a clue. It's as good as it gets, Richard. £3.22. Right.
On a good day.
Here we go. We'll go Richard first. Richard, what is it worth?
£8,000.
£8,000. I think that's pretty good. Jacob, what's it
Gone
worth?
high, I've gone 11.5.
£11,500. David?
Yeah.
What?
20,000.
£20,000.
I won't be coming and buying it.
He's a bit tight, isn't he? Wait till he's a superstar professional rugby player. That'll mean nothing to him. £20,000. Okay, so points.
Wow.
It's Jacob,
None.
isn't it?
Well,
Well, Jacob,
he's closer, isn't he?
you got to give him a
But I
point.
know, but he's still half.
Half the value. So
Half
what?
the
I mean, you can remember we have no rules on this show. What
I'll
do
let
you
him
want
have
to
a
do?
point. Let him have it.
Give him a point. But then poor old Richard's trailing dramatically.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, fine, fair enough. He's cruel, just so you know.
Competition's over.
Yeah,
already.
okay. So at the end of round 1, we've got Jacob, the young buck, on 3, and we've got Richard trailing. But don't you worry, he knows the virtue of patience, don't you, Richard?
I can say so, don't I? Yes.
Come back for round 2. Don't forget, a bit later on in the show, if you answer the correct question at home, wherever you are in the world, you get it right, and we pick you at random, we're going to send you a signed Getting It Right mug. Isn't that unbelievable?
It is.
Okay, welcome back. This is round 2. Glamorous assistant, what do we have? Oh, she looks very excited about this, I've got to say. Let's have a look. Oh, this is for Jacob, please. Right, Jacob. Now, this is all about you and your thoughts. Richard can't say a word. What I want you to do is just simply speak as you think.
Okay.
Show it to me and talk to me. What is it that we're looking at?
When I first saw it, I thought it could be a belt buckle, but then I turned it upside down. I don't think it is. It looks like a brooch of some sort. Looks quite old, quite delicate. I noticed that. I'm not sure quite that could clip onto something. I don't quite know.
Keep it nice and still. Let's have a look. What is the scene?
Looks like a forest, maybe. That could be water. A bit of damage on the corner there. I don't think it's gold. Could be bronze, maybe.
Are you writing anything down?
I don't need to.
Oh,
No,
Nothing to write down.
okay.
as far as an age, I don't know. It feels quite old.
Yeah, but how old's quite old? To you, about 5 years.
Yeah, I'll probably say 1800s.
1800s. I mean, that's a big bit. That's a 100-year period.
1850.
1850. That sounds a bit better. Okay, show it to me then, Jacob. So you're saying it's gold-plated or bronze, are you?
I said bronze, but when you said, "Is it gold plated?"
I'm not giving you any
Makes
help.
me want
I'm not-
to
I'm
say
not-
gold plated.
So you're going bronze,
I'm going
1850,
bronze.
and
Yeah.
you're saying it's a brooch.
Yeah.
Okay, and where was it made?
Italy.
Italy. Okay, over now to Richard. Richard, what did Jacob get right? What did he get wrong? In your own time, Richard.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think he was very accurate in his description. Certainly looking at the trees that are on this brooch, because I think it is a brooch, I think it's quite possibly, it's European, possibly French or Italian, more likely Italian. I can't tell what the pattern on the brooch is made out of. I think it's gold plate, because it looks faded in certain areas.
Turn the back. What does the back tell you? Oh, very often with antiques, the back can tell you as much as the front, David, can't
Absolutely. Sometimes
Just that
more.
the might be sort of semi-translucent, because you can see the patination coming through on the back.
they? Oh, semi-translucent. Remember that word. It's a good one.
So maybe it's made of glass.
Maybe it's made of glass. Okay, so where was it made? Which country?
I'm going to go in agreement with Jake. I'm going to say Italy as well.
Okay, date-wise.
You said 1850s, didn't you?
You can't just say everything to Jacob just because he's got 3 points.
I'm following his lead.
Show it to me.
I would say slightly earlier than that, perhaps about 1820s.
1820s. And what is it made from?
I think it's gold-plated silver.
Gold-plated silver.
And I think the patination on it, the picture, is probably made from glass.
From glass. Have you actually written anything down?
Yeah, because I feel sorry for him.
Were you just pretending to be sort of like, oh, that's
Well,
interesting?
just to make a bit of a competition of it, really.
Right.
Sympathy point.
Okay, award some points and tell us exactly what it is.
Okay, it's what's known as a landscape agate brooch. It's Victorian, and whoever made that selected a certain piece of agate and cut it in a certain way to create that landscape pattern. Mounted in gold plate,
Oh, it is gold plate.
gold plated.
Oh.
That should be a point for that, I suppose.
Yes, you got that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Eager on the
It's
point.
the only one you got to remember.
So, he knows how the game works. Just so you know, Richard, yeah, he's played it a few times.
Give Jacob a point for the date because it's probably mid-19th century. Original pin on the back, which is nice, and also got a loop fitting for a pendant. Nice thing.
Where was it made?
It'd be English, Scottish.
Oh, wow. Okay, so these were a million miles away with the...
Long way away.
well,
Well,
with
they just say
everything.
Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so award some points overall. Let's go Richard first. Try and be a bit kinder. Look at it. Look at his face. Go on. What are you going to give him?
Richard's got 2 points.
What for?
We're saying it's a brooch. And
After
saying-
I said it's a brooch.
That's unbelievable.
I'm just trying to make a game of it.
Go on. Yeah.
We're trying to create entertainment here.
Go on. And what else?
Failing, but we're trying. It's a brooch and it's gold plated.
Okay, 2 points. Well done, Richard. Give him a round of applause. Yeah. Right, and what about Jacob?
2 points.
2 points. What for?
Age,
Yeah.
and it's a brooch.
Well done. Okay, well done. So after then round 2, we have Jacob on 5, romping away, Richard on 2. But Richard, try and look like you want to be here, wouldn't be a bad idea. This is where you can claw back a point, because it's all about valuation. Now, Richard, I think, will be more experienced in this. He's got a house full of antiques. He's been buying antiques for years. He will get this right, mark my words. He's going to claw back. You're going to be rubbish at this.
Okay, yeah.
Right, okay. So pick up your pens and write down the valuation. Now you know everything about this agate brooch. And let us know at home how close you get. Be closer than him. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Jacob, you ready?
Yep.
Richard first.
£150.
£150. Jacob.
Gone again higher, gone 350.
350.
Richard's spot on.
Oh, give him a round of applause.
5 points.
I mean, spot on.
Absolutely
as in
spot on.
Absolutely
Absolutely
spot on.
spot on.
Okay, Richard, you would normally get a point for getting the closest.
Give him 2.
Give him 2. Give him 2 points. Okay. At the end of round 2, then, we have Jacob on 5 and Richard on 4. This really is all to play for. Well done. Well done. Come back for round 3, which is tea and history. Okay, welcome back to round 3. This is tea and history, and we know that antiques and history, they're inextricably linked. When you study antiques, you learn about history. So this is a history lesson on fast forward. Gentlemen, grab a cup of tea, sit back and relax. I'm going to tell you something interesting, then I'm going to ask you a history question. I'm going to talk about railways, and one of my all-time heroes from British history, the time of the Industrial Revolution. That revolution, when it comes to revolutions, was a good one. It was a great revolution that Britain gave the world modernity, modern transportation in particular, and one man's name really stands proud from that period, and that man is George Stephenson. What a hero, the father of the railways. I think if it wasn't for George Stephenson, we may not have cars. He gave us modern transportation. But let me tell you something about George Stephenson I bet you didn't know. If you search online, look for a picture, a painting of George Stephenson, you see a big fella, rotund, tweed, painted in front of his country estate. The man was wealthy, no doubt about it. But where did he start life? You might think North Country, yes, absolutely. Did he own a mine, a shooting moor, or something like that? A landed gent. Far from it. This is why he's one of my heroes of all time. George Stephenson couldn't read or write until he was 18 years old. One of the finest geniuses when it comes to engineering the world has ever known. He went down the mine, the coal pit, at the age of 12 with no education. His father couldn't read or write. The family had no money for schooling, predating free schooling. But the man was a genius. And it was spotted by the mine owners that George Stephenson could fix anything. From the shoes that the miners were wearing to the miners' lamps, and including the steam locomotions, the static machines that were pumping fresh air into the mine and pulling out the water, safety machines. They discovered that young George could fix them, but more than that, George could make them better. He improved these machines, and it was definitely a time of meritocracy. If you were good, by goodness me, you could be elevated. And he was promoted and poached by other mining companies, and before long, by the age of about 30, George Stephenson, the lad that couldn't read and write till he was 18, had his own company. And he was making locos, and he made the world's most famous locomotions. Locomotion number 1, the train that pulled the very first passenger car on the planet. Not far from where we are today in Ripon, at Elstob Elstob, Stockton to Darlington Railway. We could be there within an hour. That was the first railway ever known to man. George Stephenson built the locomotion number 1, and he drove the train himself on that day when it pulled the first passenger on a public railway. What a hero. The man that couldn't read or write. So that is the father of the railways, George Stephenson. But my question to you is this. I mentioned that he drove the train that pulled the very first passenger car on a railway system in the world, Stockton to Darlington Railway. In what year did George Stephenson drive locomotion number 1 from Stockton to Darlington, carrying, paying passengers along the first public railway in the world? What year? So, tell us how you do. Put your tea down. Pick up your pens. Industrial Revolution. Write down the year.
Should have paid more attention in history.
Yeah, stop playing so much rugby. Right. I'm going to give a point to the closest. Oh, Jacob is looking over. He's used to cheating at school, you can tell. His teachers will be watching going, there he is, that Jacob Oliver. He's always doing this. Right, we'll go Jacob first. What year, Jacob?
1890.
1890. Okay. Richard?
1825.
1825! Give that man a round of applause. Bang on!
Yes. That's a guess.
Bang on! 18.
Yes.
It was a very good, educated guess, that was, Richard. Very well done. 1825, the world's first passenger train. Right, you would normally get 1 point. You know what I'm going to do. He's getting 2 points. There is no doubt about it. So at the end of... He's on fire. How did you do this? I talk about patience is a virtue. That's amazing. You as a young buck, you're going to learn a lot from this man.
Yeah, I am.
You are, honestly. Right. So on that then...
I'm old enough to be his granddad.
Jacob, you have been overtaken by the old buck who's come from behind. He's now on 6. Jacob's on 5. Round of applause again for Richard. That's fantastic. Did you get 1825? Tell the truth. Let me know. Okay, very good. Still all to play for. The next round, the final round, is the David Elstob I'm an Antiques Expert round. Come back for round 4. And welcome back to round 4, the final round. Can we have a glamorous assistant? Has she been drinking?
I think so.
This is to both of them, please. Now, gentlemen, in this round, you can both look at the object, you can pass it around, share it. Don't talk about it just yet, because David Elstob, I'm an Antiques Expert, is going to tell us all about it. Over to you, David.
It's a lovely antique wine glass. And of course, we don't put it in they didn't put it in great big wine glasses like we do nowadays. It was very expensive, so it was in short supply. Lovely opaque twist stem on it, which is very nice. The most desirable wine glasses have coloured twist stems. Very nice foot on it, and it's in good condition. What I would like from you is a date, please.
Let Jacob have a little look at it. Now, as a little aside, you talk about the fact that the bowl is very small, and wine was more expensive, but it was also fashionable to drink just shots, Richard. So you'd have not a big bucket like we have with wine. It would be continually topped up, wouldn't it? So you'd have a slurp and then someone would top you up. It was just a more refined way of drinking. Imagine going out now to a pub. I mean, you've never been in a pub in your life, have you, Jacob? Never. Imagine going and asking for a glass of wine and you get something that size. You'd be very disappointed.
Sometimes you
do. The kind of wine bars you go to, probably you do. But also they were used for cordials. So power-packed alcohol, so quick shots, almost like a shot glass. Okay, lovely thing. So what was the question?
I'd like to know the date of it, please.
The date of it. Do we know what it's worth? That might help them.
Yeah, probably 150, something like that.
150 pounds. So, were you any good at history?
No.
Jacob? No? Richard, how did you do history at school?
So-so.
So-so?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the date of this, I can tell you, Georgian wine glass? Now they've written down their dates. So we'll go Richard first.
1795.
1795. Richard is going George the Third. Jacob.
Got that wrong then. Got 1880.
1880. Jacob is going Queen Victoria. So, David, what's the date?
1750, 1760, that area.
Okay, so George II, George the Third. So, point-wise?
I think we'll give Richard 1.
Richard 1 point, which means Richard is on 7 points. Can you believe it? I never would have predicted it. Jacob on 5. Round of applause for Richard. But don't worry, Jacob, you two go home with a signed Getting It Right mug. Honestly, take that to Newcastle Falcons, see what they do with it there. But don't go anywhere yet, because now it's a question for you at home. You two can win a signed Getting It Right mug. We're all going to sign it. And bear in mind, this one might be worth a lot of money, because if this lad goes where I think he's going in the world of rugby, his autograph is going to be worth big bucks. So, answer me this question. We talk about Georgian drinking glasses. That was a fascinating piece. We said that the Georgians like to drink in small amounts. The date you said was 1750, 1760. Let's call it 1750. So which king was on the throne in 1750? I did mention it a couple of minutes ago. Put your answers in the comment section down below, and if you get it right, we'll pick a winner at random. And no matter where you are in the world, whether you want one or not, you're getting a signed Getting It Right mug. Thanks for watching, everybody. You two have been brilliant. Say goodbye. Cheerio.
Bye.